All right, we are going to take a look at this problem right here. Find 1/4 times 1/2. And we just talked about how multiplication, when we say 1/4 times 1/2, it is the same as saying 1/4 of 1/2. And that helps me especially to visualize and be able to make models when I solve these problems. So it says use a model to find 1/2 or 1/4 of 1/2. And you can see they already drew it here, but I want to make sure we know the process behind this. So we would draw a rectangle, and this represents one whole, okay? So I need to find 1/4 of 1/2. So first I need to break it into halves, and you can see this is what I'm working with right here. This section I've cut off, it's 1/2. Now I'm finding 1/4 of that half, but to help me solve this, I'm always gonna cut every piece into fourths since I'm finding 1/4 of 1/2. I'm gonna cut this as well. But like I said, we are only dealing with, I'm coloring it in yellow so that we know, this half, right? And we're finding 1/4 of that. So if we take one piece, 1/4 of this piece, 1/4 of this half, it's just gonna be this little guy right here, that one box filled in. And so what that looks like is we have one filled in out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1/8. So 1/4 of 1/2 is 1/8. We have to think, does that make sense? Well, I'm starting with a half. So I'm taking a really small number, a half, right? And I am finding only 1/4 of it. So I had a half and now I have a little fourth of it. And so yeah, it's going to get smaller. So I have 1/4 of a half is 1/8, which is smaller than both of those. So that would be the answer, would be 1/2. Now let's try one more together. Write this down in your journal. I'm going to find 1/3 of 1/5. So remember, I always start with a whole. This represents one whole. And I'm finding 1/3 of 1/5. So I need to start with 1/5, which means I need to break my model into fifths. So you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm starting with a fifth. Right? I'm not starting with a whole. So I'm only starting with from here to here, which is 1/5. And I'm finding 1/3 of that fifth. So I need to break it into thirds. And to help me, I'm going to break all of these into thirds so I can visualize. All right, well, I took 1/3 of that 1/5, right? So this is what I was working with from here to here, and I'm taking 1/3 of it. So one out of those three pieces. And if I total these all up, I end up with 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I end up with 1/15. It makes sense because 1/5, that's what I'm starting with. I'm starting with a small fraction, and I'm taking a fraction of that fraction. So it gets significantly smaller. So I took 1/3 of 1/5 and I got 1/15.